This is my attempt at being semi-professional about this. Bought myself a little microphone because I'm going to be a little vulnerable with you guys. I am in a phase of my parenting where, as a mom with alopecia, raising two kids that don't have alopecia right now, maybe never, they are becoming very aware of what that's like for me. So I am now reliving my hair loss through the eyes of my children. And interestingly enough, this morning, my daughter had a very astute comment. And I actually had a small discussion with her that I'm gonna show a little bit what that conversation was like with her, because she had said something to me that made me pause and made me think, she has to go through this too. She doesn't just not have alopecia, but we always say that if someone in your family has alopecia, you all have alopecia, because everyone has to become the expert on it. Everyone has to be able to explain to their friends and family what that means, what that's like, what's happening, what's going on. So this morning, Sydney had said, I think my friends might think you look a little weird. And I had kind of pried into that a little bit. And I had asked her, why do you think that? And I'm going to play the video right now so you can kind of get like the end of the conversation. And please ignore the dirty washcloths on the shower rail. Why do you think your friends will say I look weird?
Because of your...
Because of my alopecia?
Mm-hmm.
But do you understand what alopecia is? You can explain to them. Is it really weird, or is it just because it looks a little different?
Just because it looks a little different.
Yeah, it looks a little different. But is mommy sick?
No.
Does mommy feel different because I have alopecia?
No.
No. So do you know that? Are you going to be okay explaining that to your friends? Yeah? And I think what's most interesting, and actually really what caught me off guard this morning, was how it dawned on me that she is living my experience. And I really was worried about that even when I was pregnant, about how much of like my story would become theirs. And I know as parents, that's inevitable, right? That happens whether or not you have alopecia at all. We do our best not to pass certain things on. We try our hardest to pass all the good things on. And I didn't really know how my alopecia would be taken by a 6-year-old. And I'm starting to realize how equipped my daughter is to explaining what alopecia is to her friends, to her classmates, her peers, her teacher, any other grown-up that's going to ask her, like, hey, what's going on with your mom? And she's going to say very matter-of-factly, she has alopecia. She knows what that is, but that doesn't necessarily mean that she has that same, like, we can't have the expectation that someone else is going to understand what that means. So, I'm in a position right now where I feel like I actually have to do a little bit more work in explaining what all is going on with me, so that my kids can then be better equipped to explain to their friends and peers and classmates, so that they're not in a position of being vulnerable themselves. I was always so worried about our kids getting teased for having a mom with alopecia. Like, that has always been my biggest fear. I was in school. I lost my hair when I was 15. So, my experience is not as children. It's as a teenager. And even that was cruel times. And I know that some kids don't mean anything by it, but I feel like the comments are still heavy, and they still get really probably overanalyzed. A lot of kids don't really mean anything by their innocent questions. And I've always encouraged children to ask questions. Yes, like, please stop me in the store and ask why I don't have hair. I would much rather you know what alopecia is than let the moment be uncomfortable for everyone. I am more than happy to answer those questions. I love fielding questions that people are genuinely curious, and there is at no point do I ever want to kill curiosity about what's going on with my body. And that they're like, ergo encouraging other people to be more understanding about other people's bodies, right? And so I don't necessarily feel like me having alopecia is going to have a negative impact on my children's lives. I don't think that that's going to be the case at all. Quite opposite. I actually feel like it's going to be very enriching to their lives. I feel like our children are in a very unique position to be raised with a perspective that very few are given unless it happens to them. Hence when someone in your family has alopecia, everyone in your family has alopecia. So I'm probably going to spend a little bit of time documenting this and sharing with you how we're going to parent through these next phases of parenthood, childhood, life. And use the opportunity to maybe help other parents who are raising their children with alopecia, or maybe there are parents with alopecia who are raising children that we had never really considered a lot of that. That was really our own journey and our own story, and now it's becoming theirs. And there's something very heavy in that for me, and there's also something really beautiful in that for me as well. So if you have any questions, or if there's any other topics that you want me to talk about, please let me know. I have a fancy microphone, and I would love to do this more. Talking about alopecia is something that's it's like a passion for me. I very much enjoy doing it. So I'm going to take this opportunity to kind of keep working on this. And if there's anything else you want to see or ask me about, please leave them in the comment sections below.